I see you shiver with anticipation.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
What's up, guys? Home Team Sports. It's Big Alboski and it's AJ, and we're talking fantasy football this morning, and we're going to do that every Sunday morning around this time, 11:30. I have a list of five, I call it the Big Alboski, start 'em or sit 'em, and AJ has his own. Now, he has a lot more startums than I have, but I'm going to have 5 startums and 5 sit-ems, and you guys can take it or leave my advice and take it or leave AJ's advice. AJ, I'm going to start with my startums. Quarterback, Josh Allen against Dolphins today. I think he should have a much bigger game than he had last week, I should say. And I think that game's going to be a shoot 'em. Both defenses are pretty good, and so on paper it should be like a close game where it's like low scoring. But I have this weird feeling that they're going to come out, like the Bills are going to come out strong, and so then then Miami's going to have to come back. And because it's a divisional game, they're always going to be, really hot for each other no matter what the records say. So I think Josh Allen has a much better game this week than he does last week. My second stardom is running back Miles Sanders against the 49ers, because I think that the game plan for the Eagles today is going to be running. And I think that he'll have a lot more runs off the field to keep Jimmy G off the field and company, all those wide receivers, because the weakness of the Eagles defense is the passing game. They're good against the run, bad against the pass. I'll talk about that in my sit-ems. But I think Miles Sanders has a big game today. Next I go with running back James Robinson, and he's against the Broncos today. Now, the first thought there is, whoa, what are you talking about, Alan? He's against the Broncos. The Broncos are a pretty damn good defense, right? But what I'm thinking there is that Jacksonville's going to have to try to keep them off the same scenario there, sort of. Their game plan is to try to keep Bridgewater and company off the field, and I think they're going to just try to do that initially. And if Robinson gets moving, they'll probably stick with him. So that's my theory there. As for the wide receivers, I got wide receiver Will Fuller. He's against the Browns today. I predict that game to be a shootout. I think what happens there is that Baker Mayfield, and I think the first, all of a sudden by halftime it's like 21-0 or 21-10, and so there's going to be a lot of what I call garbage yards there, right? Where like they're going to have to throw the ball a lot more than run it, and so when they do that to try to make this comeback and maybe try to keep it close, I still think Cleveland wins the game handily, but I think that Houston's going to have to abandon the run by halftime, and it's going to be a lot of Will Fuller. As for Cooper Kupp, great week last week. This week, he's against the Colts. I think he has an equally good week this week as he did last week, and I think the Rams roll over the Colts. We are joined by Cousin Phil. So what's up, Cuz?
What's up, Cuz?
All right, so
What's up?
So to recap, my startums are QB Josh Allen, running back Miles Sanders, running back James Robinson, wide receiver Will Fuller, and wide receiver Cooper Kupp. Now my sit-ems. I'm going to say sit Jermichael Hasty against the Eagles, and I say that because defense strength is against the run. That front defensive line, and they proved it last week. They kind of took it out. And with the 49ers losing Mostert, and they're going to be starting Hasty today, and he's going to get, obviously, the bulk load of the carries. I just don't think that what's going to happen there is it's going to end up being another thing where the 49ers are going to have to start passing the ball a lot more than they run it. So, therefore, I would sit Hasty. As for Tremaine Pope, the running back, Tremaine Pope, for the Chargers, I think he has a good, fair day today against the Cowboys because the Cowboys defense is not that great. But again, if they have a strength and a weakness, their weakness is against the pass. They have a terrible secondary. So I think that Justin Herbert has a big day today, and I think that the run gets kind of abandoned there by the second half for the Chargers. As for running back Tony Pollard. I doubt he gets hardly any carries today. I think he probably, I'd say in the range of like 5 to 10 at most, because I think Zeke Elliott has a big day today. And I have predicted that the Cowboys, because Zeke Elliott has a big day today, will upset the Chargers today. I have picked that game, the Cowboys to beat the Chargers. And for them to do that, Zeke has to have a good day. Therefore, Tony Pollard probably won't.
Who'd you pick to win?
What?
Who'd you pick to win that game?
Cowboys. As for Cole Beasley, Cole Beasley's up against the Dolphins. The Dolphins' strength, again, is their secondary. I think that he doesn't have that great of a day today. And tight end Dallas Goedert against the 49ers, I think you're going to see a healthy dose of Miles Sanders. I think you're going to see a healthy dose of the wide receiver core there, the Quez Watkins, the Jalen Ragers, the Devontae Smiths. I don't think a day today. He might have a couple key plays in the game, maybe a big first down or something like that, but I don't think he has a lot of points. So I would sit Dallas Goedert. What do you got, Anthony?
I mean, we took a little bit of different angle at this. I attacked teams that I thought, where players are going to score points here. So the quarterback I'm going to start this week, I would go with Teddy Bridgewater. He's going up against a weak Jacksonville D. They gave up the fourth most fantasy points to a quarterback last year. So I would go with Teddy Bridgewater there. I think he's a safe bet. Wide receivers, I'm attacking Atlanta. That defense is horrendous. So I would go with Mike Evans. He's if you're on DraftKings, he's actually cost effective this week. So I would go with him. And they gave up the most fantasy points last year to wide receivers. And that brings up T. Higgins. I mean, you would think the Bears D, they kind of scare you. They shut people down. They lost their corners, though. I mean, they were one of the best teams against wide receivers last year. But they gave up the third most points in week 1 to wide receivers. So I'm going to go with T. Higgins there. I think he's going to have a big day. I also went with Devontae Adams against Detroit. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be my second quarterback too, because I think the Pack have a lot to prove. They look horrible in week 1. But what people don't realize is New Orleans is actually better against quarterbacks than they're given credit for over the last 2 years. So I think Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are going to look to bounce back in a big way. The running backs I went with were Nick Chubb's against Houston. They gave up the second most points last year to running backs. So I think Nick Chubb's going to have a big day. Najee Harris, he had a slow week 1. But I think he's going to get back on track here against Las Vegas. They gave up a lot of running yards last year. So, and they gave up a lot in the first week. So I think it's going to be – you're going to see a lot of Najee Harris against the Raiders. If you're looking for a defense, this is like if you're on DraftKings and whatnot and you're looking for a cheap defense, I would go to Pats against the Jets. I mean, Bill Belichick is tough on rookie quarterbacks, and I think he's going to get after Zach Wilson today. So I think he's going to create some turnovers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The easy one, I mean, Tampa Bay against Atlanta, if you want to take Tampa's D. I mean,
right.
But I would probably go Pats. They're going to attack. And for the tight end, you know what? I'm taking Kelsey this week. I know it's not a sleeper pick or anything. Baltimore struggled to cover Waller last week, and I think Kelsey's actually better. Waller dropped some passes that Kelsey wouldn't drop. My sit-ems.
All right, here we go.
So you had talked about Miles Sanders.
I did.
He's a guy that I would be looking to sit this week. San Francisco last year was 8th best against running backs, fantasy-wise. So, I mean, with Jalen Hurts scrambling, it might help Miles Sanders, but I would be on the side of caution starting Sanders. Amari Cooper, I would look to probably sit. I sat him this week. The Chargers are nasty against wide receivers. They only gave up the seventh least amount of fantasy.
Anthony, what happened when you sat Amari Cooper last week, pal?
That's all right. Listen. The numbers don't always lie, so you gotta look.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just trying to help you out. You're not playing me this week, so I don't care.
They shut down McLaurin last week. So the Chargers D is better than what people give him credit for. I think.
No, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that, but I think Cooper has a decent game. I'm not. I don't think he's going to have 29, 30 points like he had last week.
And yet again, it depends on what your options are. I took your stardom. I have Cooper Kupp. I put Cooper Kupp in there over Amari Cooper this week.
That's a safe bet.
The other sit-em I had was Jonathan Taylor against the Rams. That defense is very stout. They gave up the fifth fewest fantasy points last year to a running back. So I think the Colts are going to have a hard time today. I think that game, they could get their doors blown off very early.
Yeah.
So that was my fantasy this week. I think I covered everybody.
All right.
Picked up.
Well, we lost cousin Phil because I would have loved to hear his opinions on this. So he looked like he was working. He had his mask on and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do this every week, and this will be fun. As the season goes on, for people step up, and you guys get opportunities, and you end up having guys that you don't. Maybe next week we'll have guys that might be sitting around on waivers that you should claim. Maybe we'll do that next week. Last thing I want to ask you is, other than the Giants game was Thursday, so what games are you most looking forward to watching today?
Oh man,
I was gonna say other than the Giants, but that game already happened.
Yeah. I've been flipping through them all today. I mean,
oh wait, there's cousin Phil. Stardom, he says Bridgewater, Taylor, Carson, Williams, Chargers, Johnson, Steelers.
Yeah, Mike. He's talking about Mike Williams.
Mike Williams, right? Okay.
Deontay Johnson.
All right, thanks, cuz. All right, so what game you looking forward to today?
I mean, I'll probably be watching Bengals Bears. That's gonna be a good matchup. I'd like to see where the Bengals are. Pittsburgh and the Raiders, definitely be watching.
I'll tell you this. Other than the Eagle game, which is obvious, I can't wait for Kansas City and Baltimore. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be better than people think. People think that Kansas City is going to roll, and I don't think so. I think it's going to be close. I think Kansas City wins.
Where is that game today?
It's in Baltimore.
Okay.
And it's tonight. It's the Sunday night game, I believe.
Okay. You got Arizona, Minnesota. That would be a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, Bills, Miami. That's a division game, so that should.
This is what I do. I watch the Eagles 1:00 game, and then the rest of the day I kind of watch like Red Zone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless the game of the week, Dallas and Chargers. I think Dallas and Chargers is the game of the week. Is that
4:25?
That's the 4:00 game. So yeah. Phil had sit-ems too. He said sit-em Tannehill, Ingram, Mike Davis, and any
San Fran wide receiver.
San Francisco wide receiver. Okay. Yeah, that's a little confidence because our secondary, Rodney McLeod's out. So our secondary is, it's suspect at best. We have Slade and Wilson and all that, but I don't know. We'll see.
I have a DraftKings bet, and I think I have Deebo Samuel to score a touchdown today.
I'm guarantee. Yeah, he will. I guarantee you that my hope for the Eagles upsetting them today is that defensive front. Fletcher fucking Cox. Okay, he needs to wake up and say, "Oh shit, it's football season," because he didn't do shit, and everybody's saying, "Oh, he was double teamed and triple teamed." I don't care. Aaron Donald is triple teamed and double teamed every damn game, and he still fucking makes chaos. Sacks, rushes, knocks down something. So Fletcher Cox, get off your fucking ass.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
No, Jimmy G sucks.
Well, we're gonna find out today, right?
Well, we are. We're going to find out today. If Jimmy G throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, then what?
He looked good against the Lions, but that's the Lions. So
yeah, and everybody's saying, "Oh, they barely beat the Lions." Do you realize the Lions scored their last 2 scores like in the last 5 minutes because they were garbage?
Yeah.
They were garbage. The 49ers were just kind of sitting on a lead, not really, you know what I mean?
They got a little lucky. They got some offside kicks.
And they got a lucky. They got penalties. They got a turnover, a late turnover. Didn't they do an onside kick, which that never works most of the time. At this time, it worked, and so everybody's saying, "Oh, they barely beat the Lions." They beat the shit out of the Lions for 3 quarters and then let them back in it.
It's funny you said you had the Cowboys today. I do have the Cowboys today
For fun. I don't know.
I have the Cowboys to win today. I have the Cowboys to win today. Yep.
Yeah, and they should. They should, because the way they looked last week, they just made a couple key mistakes, and that game could have went one way or the other. You know what I mean? The kicker, right?
Hopefully, I think the Cowboys, if they get away from Zeke, they'll be better. I think it's time to move on from him.
Well, yeah, move on from him, yes, but if you have him, use him.
Oh,
they didn't use him. They have him right now. I don't think
he's as good as he was. I think he's not as fast or as strong as he used to be.
I have the Chargers in the upset. The Chargers are favored.
They're favored.
They're favored because you know these things. They're favored. The Cowboys would be an upset.
I believe the line has gone down, though. I got it at 3.5.
Mm-hmm. So there's more money being put on the Cowboys.
It's actually at 3 right now. I thought it was
when it goes down like that. Usually the upset is getting more money. My grandfather taught me that. Hence the LOL. Yeah, you're right. It's not it right. I don't want the Cowboys to win, but listen, do the Eagles? Because you're an Eagles fan. Do the Eagles really want an 0-2 desperate Dallas team next week? Or do you want a 1-1 team feeling good about themselves because they almost won week 1 against the champs, and then week 2 they beat the Chargers? So they should be feeling good about themselves going into week 3 when they get a rude awakening.
The Eagles are dogs at home.
But if the Eagles win today and the Cowboys win today, Cowboys will go into week 3 1-1. Eagles will go into week 3 2-0 in Dallas. Monday Night Football. 0-2 is a confidence buster. No. It turns into desperation. Look up the stat. How many 0-2 teams make the playoff? This is nothing. So there'll be a team of desperation, and they will do all kinds of things to try to beat the Eagles on week 3. So I want them to win this week. I want them to feel good about themselves. And then get the rug pulled out, because the Eagles better win those 3 games. You want to know why? Because the next 5 games are ridiculous. Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Denver.
Really?
Green Bay. Need I go on?
They can be 1-6 before you know it.
That's what I'm saying. So they need to win today, and they need to win next week. They need to go 3-0.
I think today's going to be a little bit tougher.
It's not about rooting. You don't root for them to win. You root for them to lose, but you're okay if they win.
You can root against them, but
yeah, root against them.
Hey, they're going to win.
Who roots right? You just want to be right. When you're picking, you don't pick with your heart. You got to pick with your brain. Okay? Anthony's got to stop picking the fucking.
You know what? I did go against the Eagles this week.
See, because you hate the Eagles.
No.
Yes, that's it.
No, I think the Niners have a good team.
There's a lot of times where I pick against the Cowboys because I don't like the Cowboys, even if they're playing a shit team and I know they're going to win.
I picked them this week. I don't think it's going to be an easy win, though. For
them. They almost always beat the Redskins, right? Almost always. It's always a close game. It's always a fun game to watch. It's the Cowboys and the Washington. It's Dallas and Washington. It's always a really good divisional game, fun game to watch. but Dallas seems to own them over the past, I don't know, 5-6 seasons.
No, it's funny. The Giants own them too.
Right. So I usually pick against them. I usually pick Washington to win the game, and I'm usually wrong. And that's because I hate Washington less than Dallas.
I mean, I didn't get the pick in our Yahoo. I would have taken the Giants this week.
I got Herbert going again. I'm for the Chargers. Right. He needs to have Herbert have a good game against me. Right. And I don't. I need him to get picked off. All right. Anyway. Eagles will be the surprise of the NFL, says my pops.
What is that? God bless his heart.
You don't you don't agree with that. And you know who might sneak into the baseball playoffs there, Anthony? They're getting hot.
Yeah.
They're getting hot.
This team is falling.
They're starting to heat up, Dad.
Yankees are falling apart at the wrong time.
Eagles. The Phillies need pitching. They don't have enough pitching to do anything. Even if they snuck in and the Braves fall and they win the division, they're not getting out of the first round because they don't have the pitching to match up with anybody.
I don't even know who they'd be playing in the first round.
But Anthony, huh?
I said I don't even know who they would be playing in the first round.
Oh, I don't know. Probably the Brewers or something.
Oh yeah, that team's nasty.
Yeah, so we're going to be out of here. We will be here every Sunday morning at 11:30 for our fantasy football sit-ems and stardoms. And maybe next week we'll have some claims off the waivers and whatever, not and trades you should make or whatever. We'll come up with some crazy stuff. And we'll always sit here and we'll chat football with you. Everybody enjoy the games today. Go Birds. Go Cowboys. No, I can't say that. I won't say that. All right. See you guys later.
See ya.